This Three Beards Media podcast may contain mature themes, and if you're not down with that, we got 3 words for you. Like the podcast. Nailed it!
What is up, everybody? This is Chris Shipley, like father, like daughter. We're back. We are back.
I guess the intro was new on our last one, but I really took the time to appreciate the little clips you put in there, especially of the one of you falling in the foam pit. Always a favorite.
You know, during COVID, John Walters, voice of the Cyclones, was offering to you could send in sports clips and he would like do play-by-play on it. And I actually sent that in and he did play-by-play on it, and it's the funniest thing ever. I gotta find it.
Yeah, you gotta pull it up.
I'll have to pull it up for next episode. I gotta find it, but it's pretty hysterical. So it's been a hot minute since we've been on. Lot to catch up on. It just seemed like we had something going on, and then you had something going on, and then
right. Yeah. So, I think what pushed us back so far, I mean, and for a very good reason, was my retreat.
Yeah, that's right. Because we were gonna go 2 weeks ago, and then you had a retreat, and then you were pretty wiped from that, which I totally get. So
yeah.
So for the listeners, there's a retreat at our church that men and women can go through, and it's just a spiritual uplifting. It's really good. I don't want to give too many details, but Stacy and I both went through it. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say I described it as a spa treatment for my soul.
Yeah.
I mean, I got maybe 6 hours of sleep when I was there, but I came out so mentally and spiritually and emotionally rested that I hadn't been in a long time. And I think that's just the best way to put it, you know?
Yep. No, 100%. We, Stacy and I went through it. Stacy went through it when we first started dating. And then I went through it maybe 6 or 7 months after that. And then her and I have put on a couple. And we've always kind of waited for the kids to get old enough to go through. And you were the first one to go through.
I was.
And we would love to, have the boys go through. So, but this is what's going on. We've got, we had that. We've got to talk about somebody's birthday, somebody else's birthday coming up.
Mm-hmm.
And the topic of the night that Caitlin brought up beforehand. But to begin with, happy birthday, Caitlin.
Thank you.
Yeah, so that was 2 days ago.
2 days ago,
yeah. You're muffled all of a sudden, sweetheart, so I'm not sure why, but nope. So for those of you that don't know, Caitlin was born at home. She was clearly not patient enough to wait. So, and she's been kind of a pain in the ass since.
Yep.
So,
yeah.
You're still muffled. I'm not sure why.
Okay.
It's your AirPods. It's your AirPods. So, geez, it's like we've never done this before. She doesn't even know what she's doing. Now you're silent. I don't hear a word you're saying. So, there we go. Whoa, a lot of feedback. Way too much feedback. Why don't you log out and log back in? I'm not sure what you're doing.
Okay.
Yikes, that was terrible. Sorry about that, guys. I'll kind of tell the story. Caitlin was Caitlin's mom. We went to the doctor to get her ultrasound, and the doctor had said that, it looks like she's 3 weeks farther along than we thought, which the original due date was around Thanksgiving of that year. So, how's that now, Caitlin? That better?
Is it?
Yep, it is. Great. Yep,
right.
That works. So I was just kind of beginning to tell the story of you being born at home. So
I think we need a recorded, documented version of
That's
this
right. That's
because
right.
you always say on my birthday post that you tell it so much better in person, but really the only people we're around like on my birthday when that story is relevant is family who's heard the story a million times.
Yeah, they have not. You're right. They have not heard me tell the story.
Right.
So let me bring it up because I don't want to miss anything.
Well, don't just read off of that because you've been.
Okay.
I traced it back on my birthday. You've been using that same post for like 10
Oh
years.
yeah,
I call you the king of copy and pasting.
I know, right? Control C. I'm the king of Control C. All right.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and tell the story. So as I said earlier, Tracy, Caitlin's mom, we went to a doctor's appointment, and they said her initial due date was Thanksgiving, right on Thanksgiving. And he said, "Oh, it looks like she's about 3 weeks farther along than I thought." And I said, like an idiot, because I don't know, I'm not a doctor. Well, do we want to change the due date? No, we don't need to do that. And I was like, okay, you're the doctor. And I didn't really think anything of it. So come around the 1st of November, Tracy was starting to have some pains and things like that. So we did go to the hospital, and they admitted her and checked her, and I think she was dilated to like 2, and which I don't know how big that is. I don't know. I have no idea. So
it's 2 centimeters, so not very big.
But she was starting to dilate, and I had said to the doctor, because when Taylor was born, Tracy had went to the hospital and she was dilated, and they said, you know what, we're just going to have you walk the floor, stay here. That will kind of help induce labor, and then we'll just go. So I said the same thing. I said, can we do that? And he's like, no, we don't do that. We don't do that. And he was kind of condescending, and I was like, okay, well, again, whatever. And he's like, well, and it turns out that I think she has a bladder infection, and the baby is pushing on the bladder, and that's giving her the pains, and that's the problem. So I think he gave her some medicine or something and sent us home. So that night, Tracy was having a little bit of pains, and she took a nice hot bath, and that made her feel better. So then the next morning we get up, and she's got pains all day, and we called the doctor, like, I think probably around 4:00 in the afternoon, and we were like, hey, like, she's got serious pains. And he's like, it's not labor. Unless her water breaks, don't bother bringing her in.
Okay, but I have a question.
Yep.
I have a question. At some point, wasn't there an instinct of like, this doctor isn't here, he's not seeing it, maybe we should go in again?
No, because at the time, I mean, he had said that she had a bladder infection, had said that she was, the baby was pushing on it. So I didn't not think that wasn't the case. You know what I mean? I was hoping that he would say, okay, well, go ahead and bring her back in. Let's check something else. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so, and I guess that just surprises me just because it was mom's second time, her second child. So that surprises me.
And that kind of plays into this, I think. So because then it was probably 11:00 at night, and I said, and she came in. Well, at the time, she was sleeping in the extra bedroom because she was very uncomfortable, and she didn't want to keep waking me up, and so Taylor was sleeping in our bed, and Tracy was sleeping in the spare bedroom in Taylor's room. And at one point she came in, and I said, why don't you take another hot bath? So I poured a hot bath for her, and then she got out after that, and then it was maybe 20 minutes, and she come walking in the room, and she said, my water broke. And I jumped out of bed, and I'm trying to figure out what to do with Taylor, because now I have to take Tracy to the mall. So
to the hospital, not the mall.
To the mall. Jeez. That would be any other time I had to run her somewhere. No, I had to take her to the hospital. So I'm kind of scrambling around, and she goes, I go over, and I start to get Taylor, and I look over, and Tracy is just laying on the floor, and she's breathing really hard, and she's like, I'm not going to make it. So I ran over, and I called 911, and the gist of the conversation was 911, What's your emergency? And I said, my wife's had labor. We're not going to make the hospital. We need an ambulance. Okay, ambulance is on the way, sir. She said, now what I need you to do is, can you see the baby's head? And I was like, I don't know. She got pants on. And he's like, well, you're going to have to, take her pants off and look and see if the baby's head is crowning. And I just walked over there and looked, and I was like, I don't know. I don't see anything different than I normally do, which looking back is pretty funny. But anyways, and then she said, okay, well, do you have any pillows and blankets? And literally, I'm like flipping pillows from the couch over towards Stacy. I'm just throwing them over there. Yep, got that. And then she says, okay, now you're going to need, do you have any shoelaces? Why do I need shoelaces? Well, you're going to have to tie the umbilical cord. Oh, I don't think so, I said. And all I could see was these grangy, gross old tennis shoes that were sitting over by the floor. And I was like, oh, no. And she's like, well, is the ambulance there yet? And I said, well, they just pulled up. So I dropped the phone and I run out and I'm screaming at him, get in here. So the guys come in and
you take Taylor to the Showberg.
I grabbed Taylor, and took him to the next door neighbors, knocked on their door, woke them up. Taylor went in there and then I ran back. And by the time I ran back, they had her on the gurney, but he said, just put her down. We're not going to make it. And at this point, they had shoved all the furniture over out of the way. And they were laying stuff underneath of her. And I went over and I was holding her hand. And she was looking at me. And this is no kidding. The guy turned around to grab something. And somebody called his name, like Jim or something. And as he turned out, you popped out and he like caught you on the floor. Like you just like shot out like a cannon. And I was like, oh my God. And so he's cleaning it up and he's cleaning you up and everything else. And he goes over and he like pinches the umbilical cord and he says, do you want to cut the umbilical cord? And I was like, no, I've seen enough. I've done plenty. I'm not doing that. So then they get her cleaned up. They get you cleaned up. They say, we're going to take her to the hospital. You can follow us up there. So I was like, okay. Well, then I went and called. Well, while you were still there, I ran over and I picked the phone. I called Grandma. And I said, Mom, we just had the baby. And she goes, oh, you did not. And I said, don't you hear that kid screaming? And then she could hear you screaming. And she's like, oh, my God. I said, yeah, we didn't make the hospital. We're at home. So I need you to come over here and pick up Taylor from the neighbors. So Aunt Dee and Mom came over. Aunt Dee took Taylor home, and Mom followed me up to the hospital. And we walk into the hospital room, and your mom is in the bed, and they're taking care of her, and you're in the little warmer or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And
the
doctor comes in.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, go ahead.
I was gonna ask, did I ever have any like, because I know back then they used to put babies in the nursery. So like now that's not as common of a practice. A lot of babies stay in the room.
Right.
And then also because they thought my due date was late November, was I put in any type of NICU precaution or because I wasn't born in the hospital?
No, but there was a little bit of things that they had to check with you before they would take you into the nursery. So you were in a special area for about a day, but you were fully formed and things like that. So I mean, I'm just saying you weren't small,
right? Well,
early.
because they had they had
they had the due date wrong. So, anyways, so in walks this doctor, and he walks over to Tracy and he says, "Why didn't you tell me those were labor pains?" Hey, dumb fuck, I said. If we knew the difference between labor pains and the other fucking pain she was having, we wouldn't have called you 7 fucking times. At that point, Grandma had to pull me out of the room. I was pissed. I was so hot. And I think I may have said something like, there better not be birth on the fucking hospital bill either. So what's funnier about that is, like, fast forward 2 months, we get a bill from the ambulance company.
Mm-hmm.
And now, at the time, we had health insurance. And it's what they call a family plan, which means it was under my name and it was for me and Tracy and then our family, whatever children we had. So the ambulance company charged the insurance. The insurance paid for Mom, paid for Tracy, but didn't pay for you because you weren't in the insurance. So it was like a $350 bill for you. And I called the insurance company and I go, why would you not pay this? And they're like, well, she wasn't on the plan. Okay, well, what the fuck was I supposed to do?
The minute I was born.
Hold on. Don't take her yet. I got to call the insurance company and put her on. It's a family plan. What's the fucking difference? So I resubmitted it and they paid it. But I was like, oh my God.
That's crazy.
That's the story of how Caitlin was born.
I've always heard the before. I've never heard like the after, like the stuff leading up to it and like what happened after you got to the hospital. Cause like it was such a crazy thing.
Yeah. I don't remember a lot about, like, I don't remember bringing you home. I don't remember that memory. I remember bringing Taylor home.
Oh,
and maybe just because it was shut up. Like your birth isn't special enough.
We get it. She cried because Notre Dame lost, and that's how you knew.
Yes, that's how I knew she was my kid because she was 1 day old and we were watching the Notre Dame game and she was laying on the bed with me and they lost and it wasn't 5 seconds later she started crying and I knew she was my kid. So you, on the other hand, just never stopped crying, so that's a whole nother story, including when you sing "Happy Birthday."
You know what? My second graders sang to me and I didn't cry. Look at that strong woman.
I'm not buying that. So, so yeah, that was the story of your birth. But yeah, I don't remember a lot of like afterwards. As far as I do remember, your first year you got sick a lot.
Yeah, that was another question.
You did get sick a lot, and we did have to take you back to the doctor quite a bit. And I had always wondered if it was because, and maybe not, but because of the circumstances around your birth, as far as not being in a hospital and not getting care right away, if maybe there was something going on because of that. But I don't think so.
Do you think? Well, and that's a really good question. Like I knew I got sick quite a bit as a kid, just like with different. Yeah. I mean, when I was in first grade, I had fifth disease or something like that, where I don't know if that's what it was called.
I don't remember.
But I remember I had a rash all over my body and a fever, and
you had adenoids. You had your adenoids had to be taken out.
Didn't I have roseola or something like that? That's the wrong word. That's definitely the wrong.
I don't even know what roseola
there's
is.
this story. There's a story that Tracy used to tell about when I was a baby and how I had a fever so bad when I was a baby that they could do nothing to get my fever down.
Roseola is a viral illness that most commonly affects kids between 6 months and 2 years old. It's also known as sixth disease. Yeah, I think you did have that.
And then okay, it's because then I got it again in first grade because I had a terrible fever.
Does that cause you to cry a lot? Because that's.
But I'm saying, why didn't you guys get any testing to see if there was anything wrong with me?
Well, listen.
That would explain a lot.
We were young. We were young parents.
I might have some answers.
You might.
And you know what's crazy? Right. You know what I was thinking about? This crazy to me about this whole story. While you were telling it, I was thinking, now if this happened in 2023, this would not, like, we think that this is a funny story. This is a really great story. It's a favorite of many. But like, if this were to happen in imagine this as a Reddit post, what would all the commenters be saying? You should sue that doctor, sue the hospital, blah, blah, blah. Like, that's like, isn't that crazy to think 24 years ago?
Yeah. How much that has changed.
You would not have been like, we're going to sue the doctor.
Listen,
you'd have been like, whatever. We were all wrong.
This is how.
And in reality, the doctor probably should have been. But in reality, the doctor probably should have been held responsible for some things. Especially the whole misdiagnosis.
I don't even necessarily have a problem. The only problem I have is he's the one that said you were 3 weeks farther along.
Right.
So when the timing was 3 weeks earlier, why he wouldn't have went, but I don't know. Maybe it wasn't
that's what I'm saying.
Chart.
That's what I'm saying, though. If he thinks that I'm 3 weeks further along and then he gets a call from the lady 2 days later saying, oh my goodness, I'm in so much pain. Why would he then check her out? Like the bladder, this is a pregnant woman who you think is 3 weeks along, and that would put my due date exactly right now.
But I don't know.
I mean, the doctor, I just don't think was very
Right. But what I'm saying is I don't know. Maybe it didn't get put in the chart and he doesn't remember that. I mean, he sees patients all day long. That's the only thing I can think of.
Well,
Again, not a good reason, not a good excuse.
malpractice.
But
You got yourself a
But
suit,
again,
dude.
when
Do you think
talk
the
about
statute? You think the
Yeah.
statute's over on
statutes
that?
and limitations are over, I'm pretty sure. I mean, you know, what can I say? All right, let's take a break and then I'll come back. I want to talk about something I saw on the Norwalk Facebook page today.
Oh my goodness.
That completely justifies what you just said about how people lose their fucking mind. So,
All right,
and I want to see if you think it's as dumb as I do, and then we'll come back after that and we'll talk about our featured topic tonight. So,
Okay.
we are going to get a break here and get a word from Revelton Distilling Company. Check those guys out. Pick up their wine and spirits anywhere, and we are going to have a live event at Revelton. The whole Three Beards Media family. Everybody from different podcasts are going to be there. You're going to be able to meet them. We're going to do some recording of each podcast. And that is going to be December 9th at noon live at Revelton Distilling Company. So I really hope everybody checks that out. But let's get this word and then we'll come back.
At Revelton Distilling Company, everyone has become a part of the Revelton family. From the Taylors and their daughter who helped perfect their award-winning gins, to the team who installed Lucy, our 33-foot-tall custom-made still, right down to the local farms that provide our coveted corn, and even the cows on those farms who consume our mash byproduct. Want to see the farm to flask come to life? Now you can tour Lucy and find out where we take Iowa's harvest and transform it into our finest spirits. Choose between a 45-minute tour or find out even more by scheduling a VIP behind-the-scenes tour to get the taste of the full Revelton experience. You can visit them at 1400 West Clay Street in Osceola, Iowa, or find all of Revelton's award-winning spirits at any local grocery or spirits retailer.
All right, we're back. Again, check those guys out. They've got some great stuff coming up for Christmas. They've got Saturday nights there at the distillery. They have live music and whatever. And I'm super excited because they are expanding down there too. Rob showed a video of them doing some construction. So I just am so proud of those guys and very, very honored that they put their faith in us here at Three Beards Media. So, all right, Caitlin, we got to talk about this Facebook post.
Oh my goodness. Pull it up.
Now let me ask you a question. I'm going to read it and you tell me. I got to find it here. Hold on. Because this thing never, it's right here. Here we go. All right. So the post, all the post begins is what happened with the house on Cherry and North.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Did you see this post?
Right. Yeah, I've been kind of
All right,
watching
so
it.
let's
Yeah.
bring it up. All right. So let's bring this up here. Hold on.
Make sure.
There we go. Okay. All right. So this is it, right? All it is what happened with the house on Cherry and North, and it's just this photo of this empty lot, right?
Mm-hmm.
How many comments do you think would have on that? 152 comments. And it's all because they're going to do a roundabout at that corner.
Oh my goodness. Yes.
And the town has lost their ever-loving fucking mind about it. Like, give me a break. Now, first of all, who gives a shit?
Don't.
Who gives a shit? Oh, I'm not even discussing that loser. So no, in what insane universe would they put in such an awful thing as a roundabout in Norwalk? I suppose it's because everybody hates them so much that they would avoid that intersection like the plague. This lady said they don't work in Europe, so why in the world do people in the United States think we need them?
Aren't
here?
they all over in Europe?
Are they just showing off and try to act cool and trendy with something that doesn't work? Who in their right mind even proposed such an awful thing? And she gets absolutely eviscerated.
Oh.
This lady's like, the show Mythbusters did an episode about which is more efficient in getting cars through intersections, roundabouts or four-way stops. The roundabout won. Statistically speaking, when using correctly, roundabouts allowed for increased traffic flow with fewer accidents. And then this guy was like, not to be that guy, but Roundabouts absolutely do work in Europe, and Mythbusters statistically prove them to be faster than four ways. This lady got absolutely eviscerated because she's like, they don't even work in Europe. How the fuck do you know they don't work in Europe?
Also, they're all over in Europe.
Right. Do you think Europe would have them if they didn't work?
No. I think
they are.
You know
they
what?
are so much easier to use.
You know what? I've always been nervous to go into roundabouts because there were never any roundabouts that close to Norwalk when I was learning to drive.
Right.
Sorry, I lost my train of thought.
That's
so
right.
I had a hard time. Like my first time going to a roundabout, I was visiting a friend in Waukee and they had a roundabout by their house. And I was like, I can't go through this. And it was in a residential area. I was not expecting a roundabout in a residential area. You don't really think of it. And I'm curious to see how it's going to work right next to the high school.
That's kind of what I thought was the high school, but if that's the best place to put it.
I mean, like when I was 16, I had an accident there in that intersection already.
Yeah,
like,
because it was a four-way stop.
Yeah, well, exactly. No, because that intersection is already so busy. Imagine a bunch of new 16-year-olds, 17, people who've been driving for less than 4 years.
If they're doing driver's ed, they're going to take those guys through that intersection.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's the silver lining. But when you're trying to have 300 kids drive home,
that's not even the craziest part of this fucking post. So then,
I know
this person's like, so the city buys and tears down a perfectly good single family home that isn't going to cost a family $300,000 that's been recently renovated, and then put this roundabout in there. No, that's not what happened, lady. The house had fire damage. The city condemned it. Or the city condemned the house, and then the fire department used it as a test fire and burned it down and then cleared it out. The city did not buy that perfectly nice house. The house was already a shithole.
I was going to say, I don't think anyone's lived in it for a while.
No, they have not.
I think it's been kind of abandoned for a minute.
Right. It's just, these people, they don't.
It's the same thing when it's the Recplex. Not the Recplex, the Fairway Fields.
Yes.
Or the new Starbucks.
Yep.
Or I'm surprised people haven't started complaining about. Also, didn't I read that there's another coffee shop opening up?
Okay, so all right, so I got distracted because that's an absolute. That whole thing is an absolute.
Didn't you hear me? Didn't you hear me? Isn't there another coffee shop opening up?
There's not. No, there's not a new coffee shop. It's previously Grounds Around Town.
No, I knew that one.
No, it got sold.
And they changed their name.
And changed their name, yes. But there's not another new coffee shop coming. Starbucks, Scooters, Mahalos, and now that.
Yes, I can't remember what it's called. It's like a super.
No, Mark, there's already a Scooters here. Norwalk is full of coffee shops, pizza places, and
gas stations.
Gas stations and Edward Joneses. There's like 3 Edward Joneses in this town. But God forbid we have more than one. We have more than one grocery store. So.
Oh my goodness.
The Fairway Fields is another one. All summer, those people lost their ever-loving minds
because the lights were left on.
Well, that and the
traffic,
the parking and everything else, and
okay, but in the community's defense, you knew that this was going to happen, and you knew you didn't have enough parking spaces, but you still booked tournaments. And the community, you can't do that especially when it's right next to a residential area. If people can't even park on their own street or park in their own, neighborhood.
Right.
That would be very frustrating.
No, I get it. And people were upset, but I mean, it's nice for the town. Right?
Oh, it's a really great thing for the town.
Here's what I think they should do. I would love for them to move the fireworks display to the Fairway Fields. And then I can just walk down to Tim and Sarah's house, sit in the front yard and watch them.
Or you could sit in the pool and see them from the.
Or I could because the trees block a lot of that.
No, it doesn't.
So,
no, it doesn't. I've watched fireworks from that pool before.
Yeah, Mark, it is. I mean, when the parking overflows, Mark said, sounds like the Drake neighborhood parking. When the parking is overflowed at that Fairway Fields, there are cars parked on the streets all around and almost down to my house on Merle Huff. It's ridiculous. But again, it's good for the town. It's good for the businesses here in town. They're gonna, these restaurants and things like that, people are gonna be there all day. They're gonna go get stuff to eat. I mean, I would not want to work at that Subway right next door.
No.
That Subway will be packed, but they're putting that Starbucks right there. Those people are going to drive right through that Starbucks line, get their coffee, and then go watch their kids play softball that they pay.
Well, I was going to say,
$900
and
for.
Mahalos isn't that far from where this Starbucks is.
No, it's right across the street.
Yeah,
I will say this: they've redeveloped behind our house and all those roads. I can take the back way now over to the gym. It's great. I love it. I love the little back way. I take that back way all the time.
Really? I feel like it takes longer.
Nope.
It does.
No, it does not.
Actually, yeah, it does, because there was a lady in a van when I was driving home, and she went that way to get onto Highway 28, and I was in front of her.
Yeah, well,
I ended up passing her when she tried to turn on.
I just like it because there's no traffic. I'm a big traffic guy. Also, if you've seen on 80th down by a little bit past Angela and Ryan's, they're building a brand new road to go all the way through that field. So,
what field?
So, so if you're heading north on 80th, and on the left-hand side, there's that field all the way over by Echo Valley and things like that on the left-hand side of the road.
Uh-huh.
They're putting a road there and taking it straight through to go to that other development that is on the backside of us and the backside of Echo Valley.
Oh, Yep. Interesting.
So, yep.
Interesting. I know. Well, and that's the thing.
Well, that's because you don't come over here enough, Mark. Although it'd be different if you invited me to your house, because I don't even know where you live.
And here's the stinker of it all. People are complaining about tax and house prices in Norwalk, but when they add in more houses, the taxes get worse. But then when we add in businesses, we're taking away the small town feel. Like, you can't have the best of both worlds, like,
right. No, I'm with you.
You either want your taxes to go down and more.
And I'll tell you what else drives me nuts, since we're talking about it, are these people that they open a new business and then they shit on them. They totally tear them down. Like, oh, another coffee shop. I really wish that they would open a Benihana or whatever the fuck they want. And you're just like, and I can't believe the city doesn't do that. The city doesn't control who wants to move here, right?
You also know the city, yeah, right?
Like the city didn't to go tell Hy-Vee, sorry, we don't want you.
Well, it's like we were talking about when they were talking about the old Fairway. They're like, they should make it an Aldi. And you were like, why would they sell it to their competition?
Right. They're not going to, right. Oh, let's Fairway. We own that building. But by all means, let's sell it to an Aldi so they can compete with us. No, that's not how that works.
Oh, my gosh.
All right.
We do need another grocery store. We'll take a break. Yeah.
We're going to take another break, and then we're going to come back and we're going to talk about, well, first of all, I just would like to drop that we had a tailgate yesterday in Ames, and we had chili, and the overwhelming majority said that chili was better when it was thick. So that debate's settled. So
it's really not, but okay.
All right.
You found a bunch of people to bend to your will.
That's right. Yeah, to bend to my will. That's what it was. Okay. We are going to take another break when we get a word from Kyle Lehman at Wintrust Mortgage. Listen, we know that maybe it's not the best time for housing projects and things like that, but Kyle's the one that's going to take care of you. He's going to find you the best rate. And then when the rates come down, he'll be able to get you a refi too. So that's what he did for us. And man, I'm telling you, the whole thing was slick. It was quick. I wouldn't put my trust in anybody else but Kyle. That's the truth. So let's get a word from Kyle, and then we'll come back and we're going to talk about our featured topic.
Are you in the market for a new house and unsure of the mortgage process? Want to know that you have someone looking out for you? Kyle Lehman from Wintrust Mortgage is a down-to-earth, knowledgeable lender who can be there for you in your corner. He can work with you in any of the 50 states and is just what you need to expand your home search. Kyle will work with you through the entire process with little to no work from you. Take the worry of the mortgage process out of the equation so that you can focus on looking for your dream home. Contact Kyle at www.wintrust.com/Kyle-Lehman or call him at 515-473-0546.
All right, and we're back. Thanks again, Kyle. Again, he is a proud sponsor of us. He is a sponsor of Hot Mess Happy Hour, which I think is getting another episode going to drop here in a couple days, and the new Hawkeye reaction show, Hawk's Eye View. If you guys haven't checked that out, if you're an Iowa fan, we would love for you guys to check out Drew and Andrew. They do a live show on Thursdays at 6 o'clock to preview the upcoming game, and then tune in right after the Iowa game. They do a quick reaction show as well, and you can download that podcast too. So if you're a Hawkeye fan, I really recommend you guys checking them out. So, okay, so here's what we're going to talk about. It's not even Thanksgiving yet. If you're putting up Christmas decorations already, you're a fucking Nazi.
Hear me out. Hear me out. Oh, wait, sorry. Are you done with your opening statement?
Yes, I'm done with my opening statement.
Okay, my opening statement. Do you like living with depression?
No.
Okay.
No.
Neither do I. And Christmas is clinically proven to actually make people feel happier and feel more joy. So my thought being, I have a tough time, especially during the winter when it gets darker faster. And I have this little bug called seasonal depression. And so my thought process being, if I could have my Christmas tree up for 2 months as opposed to 3 weeks, because typically we put it up at, as a family, it was always your birthday.
Yep.
December 4th, the first week of December. So instead of just having 3 weeks, I could have 8 weeks with my tree up and 8 weeks of happiness until I go into the cold, bitter darkness called January.
All right. So let me rebuttal. First of all, Mark says Halloween does that for you. Halloween is it gets you out of seasonal depression. Hot take, Halloween is the worst fucking holiday ever. It's
he listed Arbor Day in his top 5. He doesn't even know how to spell Arbor.
I did not. No, I didn't. It was Labor Day.
Oh,
Labor Day is in my top
thing.
5. And first of all, your short Christmas brings out season hostility. That's right, Mark.
Not unless
Especially
you
if you're around
block
my
out
family.
not if you block out all the hostility.
Okay, so you're just shortchanging Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is the best. Yeah.
No.
I let you speak.
Okay.
Okay. Thanksgiving is the best holiday because you don't have to buy a bunch of presents. You don't have to spend a bunch of money. You eat a crap ton. There's all kinds of different pies, which again, we can start ranking the pies because, we rank things around here. There's football on all day. And then you go Black Friday shopping. It's the best holiday.
But wait, you do spend money on presents then.
Right, but it's cheaper that way. But it's cheaper then. Yeah. So I'm just saying.
Okay.
So you're shortchanging Thanksgiving for Christmas. And
are you ready for my rebuttal?
I will. Yes. Just give me a second. And then you lose the luster of Christmas because you're stretching it out for so long.
Okay.
It's like saying I love you to every person that comes in your life. After a while, you're like, well, do you really love me? Because you love those 7 other people that were in your life too.
Well, okay, here's my thing. I haven't always had the healthiest relationship with food, sir. So also, nowadays, I can't pack it away like I used to. It makes me sick now. I don't know what happened when I got in my 20s. But so Thanksgiving to me, it's just a dinner party that we're celebrating the pilgrims coming in and
Mark, neither has your dad. Shut up.
What are we celebrating on Thanksgiving?
The harvest and the Indians and the pilgrims making peace.
Okay. Well, have you ever heard of a thing called genocide?
Jeez.
I mean, seriously. So to me, Thanksgiving, I like Thanksgiving for being around family and taking a time to reflect and be appreciative of the things.
And being
But
thankful for the harvest.
but no, there was no harvest. There was only take. You know, have you ever seen a real photograph of the Pilgrims and the Native Americans sitting down eating happily together? No, all the pictures were drawn by a white man to make other people think, oh, it was okay.
Stop it.
No,
Okay.
you're allowed
Right.
to Thanksgiving. Hold on. Let me finish this out. You're allowed to like Thanksgiving and you're allowed to like the holiday because you get to eat good food, be family, be thankful for. But to me, Christmas, the meaning of Christmas is so much more special. And if I can spend 2 months celebrating Jesus as opposed to focusing on one day where I'm celebrating something not so great, I'll take celebrating baby Jesus.
All right. We're gonna read this ranking. We'll see how.
We know that I won this debate because Jesus.
No, you won it
trump
because
card.
you want to. Because you trumped with Jesus. Okay.
Jesus
is the
trump card.
Right? Mark says, for fuck's sake. You're right. Okay. All right. Mark, you can participate in this tune. 10 best kinds of pie that you have to try. It's ranked in order. Yeah, I think.
Gross.
Okay.
I actually really love pie. I was just
right.
thinking about a certain
Number
type of
one.
pie.
Number 1.
Is this like number 1, like the best, top tier?
This just says 10 types of pie to try. So I don't know if it's in order or not. I don't know.
Okay. All right.
Number 1 is apple pie. Hate it.
Okay. It's good a la mode, but
no, it's not. If
it's
you
basic.
have to add, if you have
wait,
to
I'm sorry. Let's stop already.
I'm just saying, if you have to add ice cream, then
you could
it's
add
a
ice cream to
subpar
chocolate pie, and it would be so good too.
No, I wouldn't.
Listen,
yeah,
you
but I
can't
can
say
eat
hate it
chocolate
like
pie.
apple pie. Okay, so
I didn't
somebody
say
said, you said I hate it. That's what you said. So let's say you're trapped in a room and you're locked in there, and your choice is a glass of water or apple pie. What are you picking?
I mean, obviously, I'm gonna eat apple pie so I can live.
Okay, well, no, but you hate it. Remember?
I
listen.
If somebody said you're either gonna die or you have to eat broccoli, I'd eat broccoli too.
Okay. Apple pie and broccoli.
Apples aren't fully cooked through; they're still a little like.
Okay,
crunchy.
then you haven't had a good apple pie, then, dude. Whose apple pie are you eating?
Your grandmother's. Okay.
She gets it
apple
from
pie.
A can. Those apples
apple
are
pie.
soggy.
Apple pie. Trash.
Okay.
Okay.
Mid.
This is my favorite. Pecan pie. Don't crinkle your nose at pecan pie.
It's mid. It's I've made it. It's not all the
terrible.
work.
You made it. Okay, sorry. Let's move on.
It was actually really good, and a lot of people complimented me, but I don't think the pie tastes as good as much work as it took me to make this pie. I'll stick to my easy ones.
Mark said I needed the water to live. True. That's true.
The pie was poisoned.
Yeah.
Trick question.
Mark doesn't like pecan pie. Vomit. We know Mark's an idiot anyways. All right. Pumpkin pie.
Mid.
Yep, I agree. Mid. I'll eat it. But again, you have to add whipped cream to make it taste good.
Yeah.
And it's sometimes dry. Okay, this one.
So I better not see you eating any pumpkin pie on Thanksgiving.
I didn't say I wasn't going to eat it. It's mid.
True. You're right.
Key lime pie.
I've never had it.
100% would eat that all day long.
Never had a desire to.
I would dive into a key lime pie and eat myself out of the way.
But I really like lemon pies, so I like the citrusy and okay. Whenever I think of key lime pie, I think of Friends. Because one time Monica made a kiwi lime pie, and she said that, but Ross thought she said key lime, so he ate it, and he had an allergic reaction, and Monica had to take him to the hospital, and then Rachel lost Ben or something. I don't know, but it makes me think of the kiwi lime pie, and he was like, "Why would you put kiwis in there? You knew what you were doing."
That's right. All right, Mark's never had that. He's got lemon meringue written down here. We'll see if it's on the list. The next one, I don't know that I like it in a pie. It's rhubarb pie.
S tier. That's like,
High?
yeah.
What does S tier mean? Is it bussin'?
Okay. So have you seen
that
those
like bussin'?
memes? No, have you seen those memes? I'm gonna have to show you this later because it'd be really cool if we did it on the podcast. But it's like you take these pictures and you rank them, and there's like a green, a red, a yellow, an orange box, and it's like ranking. So like S tier, very good, mid, penalty box, bad, or something like that. And then
Okay.
you like place them. But we won't do that right now. I'm just saying
Okay.
S tier is like top tier.
Looks like a couple extra people jumped on. We're talking about best pies for Thanksgiving. So the next one is probably my number 2.
It's probably
Peach
not
pie.
very good then.
Peach pie.
Peach pie. When have you ever had a peach pie, sir?
I've had it. Actually, it was
When?
the first pie I ever made to take to Grandma's house for Thanksgiving.
You made a pie?
Yes, I did. And you know what Grandma said when I brought that pie? From now
Thank
on,
you, Chriser.
No, from now on, you can just buy the turkey. That's what she said. It may or may not have been.
And
undercooked.
somehow it's still your number 2.
It may or may not have been undercooked.
Now, I like a peach cobbler.
Well, what's the difference?
I just like,
I'm gonna punch.
there's
Mark
so many
Wolford
better
right in the
pies.
face.
Thank you.
Peach pie is mid for me. What a dick. All right, strawberry pie. Absolutely not.
That's good. Strawberry pie is good.
Gross.
Okay, so I'm pretty sure my dad just made up a lie and has been gaslighting me
What?
about strawberries. About strawberries.
Strawberries
He
are
says-
disgusting.
You're gaslighting me because I
No, I'm
know
not.
I've seen you eat strawberries before.
No, not unless they're minced and completely pureed into something of a sauce. I will not eat a whole strawberry.
You're such a liar. You're such a
I'm
liar.
not lying.
Do
I
you like
won't eat it.
strawberry flavored things?
Yes. I just don't like
So-
I don't like the texture of the strawberry and the little seeds and the
But you eat
crispness.
raspberries, and raspberries have more seeds than strawberries do.
They're different.
And the raspberry seeds get stuck in your teeth. The strawberry
different.
seeds don't.
They're
You are
different.
such a liar. You are
No, I'm not. I'm dead serious. I don't like strawberries.
you
Okay,
can go
next.
ask mom. You can go ask mom right now, and
Okay,
she will
next.
agree with me.
Next, I've never had this before. It's Mississippi mud pie. Never
I'm
had
gonna
it.
guess that's some type of chocolate pie. I have not
Let's
had
look.
that.
Bring up the recipe.
Bring up the
Yep.
recipe.
Yeah, it's
Like a chocolate
it's
pie.
Chocolate. It's like a chocolate pie. Okay.
Mid.
All right.
I don't
Next.
like chocolate pie.
I feel like
I
this
mean-
one is your favorite. This next one is your favorite, I think.
Hmm.
Blueberry pie.
Number 2.
Yeah, I'm a.
That's
I'm a
my
big,
number 2. I
I'm a
love
big
a
blueberry
good.
pie. I'm a
Yeah.
big blueberry pie fan. Yep.
I like that. Well, and what works for me, I think I like the blueberries so much because they're tart, but they're also sweet. So I like a pie that has tart and sweet and
Yeah.
the butteriness. Like
I get it.
some other pies are just way too sweet for me.
Yeah.
I like a little
good.
sour
Yep. All right. Last. What do you think it is? What do you think the last pie is?
cherry pie,
Yeah, it's cherry pie. Yep.
and which is my number 1.
Yeah, it's.
I'm
It's
pretty
probably
basic,
4.
but
So
I've
mine
perfected.
is pecan, peach, blueberry, cherry.
Okay, so mine is cherry, blueberry. Tori made
What?
me
The fuck, Mark? Never had a blueberry pie.
somebody take
Yeah.
his
somebody-
citizenship. No, I'm
That's
kidding.
What are you, some kind of communist?
Yeah, exactly.
Uh,
It's okay. Mark's a white guy. He's been here his whole life. You gotta know him. Anyway, Tori made me once this wild berry pie. It
yeah.
was good.
Denny says strawberry rhubarb pie or strawberry cream cheese pie. Is there strawberries in it? Because
Ooh.
if there's strawberries in it, I'm not eating it.
Would you have a strawberry cheesecake?
No.
Okay, but
Cherry
here's
cheesecake is
here's
the
where I'm
only-
going to call you out. Here's where I'm calling you out.
Go ahead.
Specifically, I've made my no bake cheesecake before.
Right.
And not always rhubarb was in season, and sometimes cherry was hard to find. So I would use strawberries as a sauce sometimes.
Sauce.
And I've
used a strawberry sauce.
Yeah, made from real strawberries.
Right. But you
that had
blended them up.
strawberry. No.
That's what.
No, I sliced them.
I don't even know why that made me laugh.
But whenever there's 3 cups of sugar in them, you're good.
Okay, here's some that we did not, that wasn't on the list. This is similar. Sweet potato pie. I'm not eating that. I don't care. I'm not eating that.
I would eat that.
Banana cream pie.
Oh, I would eat that.
Nope. Slivers of banana.
Oh, I love banana. How do you not like banana?
I don't, because if it's got that slimy cream stuff all over it, I'm not.
You know what? There was only one time I was grossed out by bananas.
Yeah.
That was when Nana Shipley made blue raspberry jello, but then put banana slices in them.
That might be the reason
why I don't like it.
And they would get
a weird texture.
Because she would always make jello and then throw fruit in it, and it would piss me off all the time. Except for orange jello with mandarin oranges in it.
Or cheese.
And also, she made a jello that had. If anybody's heard of this, you gotta.
It's a salad. It's like a jello salad.
It's not a salad. It's a jello, but it's got
not a jello with
it.
cheese in it.
It's got walnuts, pineapples, and shredded cheese in it, and it's so fucking good. It's so good. All right.
Gross.
Lemon meringue pie. There you go, Mark.
You know what? I was thinking about it, Dad. You should look. You know that TikTok of I'm your Minnesota salad. We're gonna make another Minnesota. You should look on her page and see if she's made it.
All right, chocolate cream pie. French silk, same thing. Oreo pie.
Oh, that's good.
No,
it's too rich for me.
Pie.
Yeah.
Let's see, coconut cream pie.
Never had that.
Peanut butter pie.
Oh.
Yeah, that might be.
That sounds delicious.
Look at this picture. Sorry for you guys that are listening, but it's really good. Check that out.
Ooh.
I would eat the shit out of that.
Looks like it has like a brownie crust.
Right?
Oh, yeah. You should make that for Thanksgiving.
A graham cracker?
You know what? Give your wife a break this year for Thanksgiving. Why don't you prepare all the dishes she would normally bring?
Because I don't make deviled eggs because they're fucking gross. That's why. That's right.
Why are you such a hater?
You
are such a hater.
I know. It's gross.
You are the pickiest person I've ever met, and that's really surprising.
Mark says that picture made my diabetes numbers jump. No shit, man. It looks good though. All right. We went 52 minutes tonight. That's pretty cool.
We need a quick our Crockpot update.
Oh yes.
That's the title of this episode.
I know. Did you do a Crockpot meal?
Okay, yes, I did.
Okay.
It was a cheesy potato kielbasa soup.
Yeah.
So it was like chicken broth, and I cut up potatoes. Well, technically it was a 1-pot stew, but I was like, I'll just let the potatoes cook in this all day so they'll be nice and soft, and put the other vegetables. I think there was carrots and celery and onion. So those got really soft. And then when I got home, I cut up the kielbasa and fried it up to give it a little bit of crispiness, threw it in, and then threw in all the cheese and a little bit of heavy cream. It was so good.
I made a sausage and tomato pasta dish. It was on Pinterest. I got to find it.
Mine was on Pinterest too.
It had these little dilati noodles. And it was like a creamy tomato soup, but it had macaroni in it and sausage and cream cheese. It was really good. So
that does sound really good. Yeah, no, actually I saw some. So when you look up Crockpot soups, it mixes in Crockpot and 1-pot different types of meals. And I almost did a white lasagna soup. And then there was a red lasagna soup, and they looked really freaking good.
Mark says not liking deviled eggs is
American. Somebody take yours.
Newsflash, Mark. Deviled eggs were not created in America, so I don't know what to tell you.
Where were they created at?
I'm pretty sure they're.
That seems like a very Midwestern
I'm
mother
sure
thing
it's-
to do.
I'm pretty sure
Look
it's
it up.
German. I'm pretty
Look it
sure
up.
it's Germany.
Look it up.
Where did deviled
Sounds very
eggs
Midwestern to me.
originate? Who first made deviled eggs? According to History Channel, deviled eggs go all the way back to ancient Rome. So the Romans.
So Jesus
again,
possibly had a deviled egg.
Not liking deviled eggs is un-Italian.
Wait. How far back in ancient Rome?
I don't
Do
know.
you think it was around during
13th century?
Okay, so not Jesus' time.
No,
Definitely
Jesus.
not. Definitely not.
No. We go things by Jesus time around here.
He's the trump card.
Right? That's right. He trumped that earlier. All right. Okay, we're out of here. All right. Thanks for everybody for listening. We'll see you in a couple weeks. We'll try to be a little bit more consistent. Oh, update. I do want to give an update on our cousin Pat. His benefit was yesterday. They raised $7,000 for him, and he got some good news about a bone marrow transplant.
Yay.
I'm so happy that was done. If anybody's out there listening and they do want to contribute, go ahead and send me a direct message. I can get you his Venmo. Any little bit would help. But thank you guys for everything you've done. Check out the other podcasts. We've got a big lineup this week. We've got a Side of the Storm recap tomorrow night. Tuesday is Fall Starts with Bill Blank and I, and a guest. Wednesday is the next episode of Three Blind Refs. And then Thursday is Ball Don't Lie. And
Are they?
What?
Are the three blind refs going to talk about the
I don't know.
Iowa State?
I was texting them during Saturday night, so they agreed that those guys were egregious. And then Thursday is Ball Don't Lie, and of course Hawk's Eye View. So everybody have a great night, and we are out of here.